Hey guys, what's going on? It's Tyler McKinney back here again, and I want to talk about the XFL and the player acquisition process that they have. It's been a pretty interesting thing to look at, and we're getting more and more details as things go on and progress. With the NFL just doing their final player cuts and getting down to their 53-man rosters, we're now starting to see players who are now going to be available to the XFL. My question now is what is going to happen and how is the XFL going to acquire these guys? Well, we're going to talk about that today. So, first off, I want to go through and just kind of explain the process so far. So, the XFL has kind of had some... I don't know if you want to say exhibits, tryouts, or whatever, but they had those in pretty much the summer, and pretty much what it was any players who wanted to come and try out for the XFL and wanted to show their talents to the XFL that weren't on a current NFL roster, they could come to those showcases. And they pretty much had them around the regions where they have the teams located. And so they had those. And then from those tryouts, they've kind of invited players here over the past, few weeks to these to the draft, so to say, to be drafted by the XFL, and they can accept that to be in the draft or not. And so that's part of it. So it's to say that they're going to have a draft. Now, when is the draft exactly? We don't really know. What we've been told so far is that it's going to happen in mid-October, and probably what they're doing is like right now we are in that process of where the NFL is kind of going through and they're re-signing players to practice squads and things of that nature. So we'll kind of here in about a week see where everything shakes up and everything is settled, and then that's probably where we'll start getting more information. But that's kind of where things set right now. So pretty much the guys who haven't been on NFL rosters are have gotten the invitations, and there's a list of those guys out there. And then, of course, they signed a couple weeks ago. They signed Landry Jones, he's an ex-NFL backup. And so he's the first official player that they've signed. So the process now of actually the teams acquiring these players is we're starting to get a little bit more information, but pretty much what they're trying to do with the XFL is a little bit of what the AAF did, but I think that their focus is a little better, and I'll explain it after we actually go through the process. So the process that they've explained so far is that each one of the teams is had to kind of make this ranking list of priority players, mainly quarterbacks, from 1 to 9. And I guess they're giving those to the league, and then the league are going to divvy up, I guess, the very first player or first couple players, we don't know, based upon that priority sheet that these teams come up with and turn them in. So depending upon where the players fall on that priority sheet, that'll be the guy that they get. But the one thing that has been really interesting, if you've listened to any of Oliver Luck's interviews, is that they're very, very much focused on this whole quarterback aspect of things, and really understanding that, hey, we need good quarterback play, and we need to pay those players to get good quarterback play. I think one of the things that the AAF did is they did put an emphasis on quarterbacks, but the problem is they didn't give the quarterbacks the money to that maybe might entice them to actually go and play in the AAF as opposed to playing in the NFL. Whereas I think with the XFL, I think that these players are going to be enticed to actually go and play in the XFL as opposed to just being practice squad players and taking a practice squad salary. And so that's kind of an interesting, kind of development with it. And then I think from there, we really haven't, after you get past that like priority, divvy out of players, I don't know what you want to call it, priority draft, so to say. Then from there, I think they're going to an actual normal football draft, like you would normally see in any pro style. So that's kind of where we're setting with things. So we do know that they're going to have 70-man rosters, so they're going to go through and draft up to 70 guys. So it'll be interesting when they get to that point. But that's pretty much in a nutshell the process that we know so far. So I'm interested to see how things transpire, especially over the next week or so, as the NFL teams start to get their practice squad rosters around, and maybe the XFL can entice some of these guys to go ahead and play for them. But yeah, that's just kind of giving you guys some information. I don't know, maybe you guys have some more information than that I don't. I would love to hear what information you've kind of seen out there, and put it down in the comments. I'd love to have a conversation on this. I find it fascinating how the league's been trying to start up and do things, and their focus has been on quarterback play, which I think is huge, because if you look at any professional football, I think it really hinges upon if they've got good quarterback play or not. I really think that's key, and it really shows that not only is the XFL putting a priority on good quarterback play, they're also putting their money where their mouth is on this one too. So, which I think is pretty cool. So we'll see here in about 6 weeks to see what happens with the whole draft and everything, and go over it from there. But yeah, guys, I know that you're busy and I know that I'm busy, so let's get on out of here. You guys have a good night. Bye.